Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Before we get started in today's video, don't forget to join our free Facebook community, get real answers to real credit questions, learn from some of the experts in our industry, as well as from other people that are in similar situations that are taking advantage of the free content, improving their credit and making their credit situation better. Hope to see you guys on the inside.
Hi, and welcome back to the Credit Agent Show. My name is Michael, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to start building credit when you don't have a credit card. Now, credit cards are going to be the actually best and quickest way when it comes to building your credit, but not everybody's going to be able to apply for a credit card early on. So we're going to be discussing some ways that you can actually kind of get around having to get a credit card and start building credit other ways. So before we jump on into things, I just want to take a little bit of a quote from Chase Bank, and they say here, making credit card payments is one of the major ways people can establish a credit score, but it isn't the only way. And there are tons of options when it comes to credit builder loans and or, car loans, mortgages, things like that all help build credit, but we're going to dive on into those in a little bit more detail after the intro. So diving on into the first category I kind of briefly covered, which is a credit builder loan. Now, this may sound confusing, but in reality, it isn't too complex. What it is essentially a loan that you fund yourself to help build out your credit history. Say you want a loan of $1,000. You will put down $1,000 and you will pay off the actual monthly rate for the agreed upon amount. But the one thing about credit builder loans is you will not be paying interest on your payments. That is huge. You do not have to worry about interest accruing. You just have that same monthly bill each month to pay off the loan. So think about it this way. Bringing back that $1,000 idea, say you want to apply for that $1,000 credit builder loan. You and the lender will agree upon a monthly amount that you will pay each month, and you will pay it until you reach that $1,000 threshold. And once you make all your payments up to that point, the $1,000 is yours. The entire point of this loan is so you can start building your credit history now. This is because 35% of your FICO score is going to be payment history. Now, what this means is it will take in account all of your payment history when it comes to loans, mortgages, anything like that that helps build credit and goes into this category. And credit builder loans fall into this category and is a great way to start bolstering your credit portfolio. Another great thing when it comes to this 35% weighting for payment history is if this is your only thing that you have in your credit portfolio, if you make perfect payments, that entire 35% of your total FICO score will begin to really bolster your credit score. And that is so important early on, is building credit the right way and the smart way. Another reason why a credit builder loan is a great option is, once again, zero interest. You do not have to worry about additional payments when it comes to interest accruing on your monthly bills. So as long as you can make those consistent payments, you're going to reap all of the benefits when it comes to getting a loan like this, and you're building your credit score. So moving on, another great option if you want to go the loan route to start building your credit is getting a personal loan. Now, these do have some downsides. A personal loan will generally have a much higher APR interest rate than any other types of loans, and these can go upwards of 36%. And most banks, when they offer these out, put a minimum APR rate of 25%, which, looking at things like credit card APR rates, that is on the higher side. So that is one thing to consider, is the interest rates are going to be pretty high when you get something like a personal loan. But like the previous loan I discussed, as long as you make your payments on time, you can help bolster your portfolio. And this will go a long way. And once again, targeting that 35% category in your credit report when calculating your FICO score of payment history. So when getting any type of loan like this, you should always maximize and always make your payments on time. It is so important that you do that, because if you even miss one payment or make a late payment once, it can drastically impact your credit score. So moving on, another good loan to consider, especially if you're in the market for a brand new car, is considering a car loan. Now, a lot of people are a little bit scared of leasing a car like this or getting a car loan, but they can be a great way to help build and bolster your credit portfolio early on. Now, one thing you want to make sure of is you get a car loan with an interest rate of low to medium, and try to avoid those higher interest rates. Yeah, the cars are going to be a lot nicer and you may think you're going to be able to afford them now, but it can be a very common trap to fall into if you get a vehicle that ends up having an interest rate way higher than one that isn't as nice. Another great thing about getting something like a car loan on your credit report is it's going to help diversify your new lines of credit. And this is actually a pretty heavily weighted section of your FICO score, and it's going to come in at 10%. So that's another thing to consider when applying for new lines of credit, is make sure you diversify a little bit. Maybe have like a mortgage, a credit card, a credit builder loan, and a car loan like this, and you can help maximize that section of your credit report. So another great option you can consider is applying for a secured credit card. Now, you may be wondering, hey, I thought this video was about alternative options to credit cards. Well, credit cards, and the ones you may be thinking of if you're unaware, are unsecured. Those are the ones where you are borrowing money and paying it back later. The difference between unsecured credit cards and secured credit cards is secured credit cards are completely funded by you. And what I mean by that is you put down the amount of money you would like to have on credit for your credit card, say $1,000. So you pay the $1,000 to the bank or the lender that is issuing you the card, and you'll have that as your credit limit. So it's completely funded by you, and when it comes to essentially using your card, you're never going to charge more than you can afford because you are completely funding the card by yourself. So you get the rewards when it comes to your credit score like a normal credit card, but you're not exactly going to have the perks of being able to, put money or payments down on credit, since it is going to be all funded by you. But we're here to start building credit, and this is going to be a perfect option for you, especially if we go back to, once again, that credit mix category. It's very important you diversify your credit portfolio, and this is a great addition to have because it will classify as a different line of credit compared to the previous loans we were just talking about. So, moving on. So another option I want to discuss is becoming an authorized user, and this is a very popular decision among families, especially parents who want to start building credit for their children. Now, what an authorized user is essentially a person that is linked to another's credit card and actually has all the benefits and score perks from that person who is actually signed under their name for that said credit card. So the reason why this is a popular option for families when they want to start building credit for their kids is you can add your child as an authorized user and they can start benefiting off of your card. Now, if you're not in the position of, being in a family or anything like that, you could talk to some friends about it as well and just essentially get added to their credit cards, and you can start building your credit that way. It's a very, very great option, especially if you know the person is trustworthy who is using that card, because it is a two-way street here. It is possible that if the person gets behind on making their payments, your score can drop as well. So if you are going to go this route, it's important you choose a person that you know is going to be good for your authorized user. So another option that in this day and age is especially overlooked is rent and utility payments. Now, a lot of people don't know that there are third-party programs like Experian Boost that can allow you to score rent and report rent and utility payments for your credit. Now, most landlords aren't going to do this on their own, and that's why a lot of people don't know about this, but it's worth researching an Experian Boost and getting a better idea of how this works, because this is a great option since you're already having to pay these payments anyways. Why not start building credit with them as well? So some of the pros that come from something like Experian Boost is it will show lenders you have consistency in payments. Once again, you do not want to miss late payments. That is a huge detriment to your credit score. But if you're able to make those payments on time or even early, that will go a long way in building your credit score as well. And utilities can extend as far as even cable, internet services, satellite TV services, things like that too. So it's worth researching on your own if this is a good option for you. So before we kind of roll on out to the conclusion, I just want to reiterate once again how important it is that you maintain a good payment history, especially early on. Even one missed late payment could set you on a very difficult credit repair journey. And our goal here is to make sure you don't have to go on that journey and you can start building credit the right way and the smart way. So remember, those payments on time mean a lot, and they can help your score early on as they are worth 35% of your total credit score if you're using the FICO scoring model. So another super important thing I want to talk to you about is maintaining your credit history. Now, a lot of people, once they start building up their credit and get to the point that they're comfortable getting an unsecured credit card, will close out their previous lines of credit, like their secured credit card or their credit builder loan. But this is actually a very bad thing to do, and here's why. There is a section on your credit report calculating in your credit score your credit history. Now, this is very important because if you close out of your previous lines of credit, this can lower this category, aka lowering your score. So it's so important to keep your lines of credit open as long as possible. And you can maximize this by keeping your lines of credit open for as long as 7 years, and you'll still be generating positive credit score from this. So a super important tip. Now, kind of moving things along, I just want to briefly cover everything. So credit builder loans are probably a very great starting option for you if you want to start building credit now and you're unable to get something like an unsecured credit card. On the topic of credit cards, that secured credit card, another great option, and especially if you want to start diversifying your credit portfolio early, mix it with a credit builder loan in addition, and you already have 2 separate lines of credit. An important thing to consider though is don't apply for too many types and lines of credit in such a short amount of time. You want to space them out, and we recommend generally about 6 months. And the reason for this is because, once again, kind of going back to, becoming high risk, if you do it too soon, say within 2 weeks or 3 weeks of one another, you can actually lower your credit score this way. So it's so important to space these applications out. But once again, an auto loan is another great option that could diversify and bolster your credit portfolio and is just an overall great consideration, especially if you're thinking about getting a new car. So those are kind of all of the lines of credit alternatives when it comes to building your credit without having access to a credit card. And, I hope you guys learned something new. And if you have any recommendations or questions, be sure to comment them down below because we can use some of those comments for future video topics as well. So my name is Michael, and you have been watching The Credit Agent Show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope to see you in the next one.